All right guys, so for today's video, I'm gonna be building a custom homemade do-it-yourself bait bucket. I can show you the bait bucket that I'm currently using right here. To be honest, it worked okay if you're keeping your bait in there for a few hours a day, maybe overnight, maybe. It doesn't really work that efficiently. It does kind of do the job. It's better than nothing, but it's time to do something else. So today's video, I'm gonna go out, get a cooler. I'm gonna show you guys what cooler I get, and I'm gonna show you guys the steps along the way of what I did. A lot of the steps I'm taking, I'm kind of stealing from my good buddy Fredo. Fishing with Fredo's his channel. He's an awesome guy, really cool, does a lot of DIY stuff, catches a ton of crappie and catfish. He's my kind of guy. I'll link his channel down in the description below. He's a great guy, go check him out if you haven't already. So, all right guys, let's go do this. All right guys, so as you can see, we're at Academy, so I'm gonna run in here, see if they got a cooler that'll work for me. If not, back up, we're gonna run to Walmart. So, all right, I'll see you guys when we get back. I'll give you 3 guesses to guess where we're at. All right guys, so we're back. So I picked up a igloo cooler. I got this at Academy for $20. Says it could hold ice up to 3 days. It's a 30 quart. It could hold 41 cans of your favorite beverage. And I got this because I wanted something a little bit bigger that had some good depth. When I put my arm in there, that goes up to almost where the bottom of my tricep is. It goes in past my elbow. I wanted something higher that could hold more water in it. When I go out fishing, I could have a good set of minnows in here. I wanted to have more room because if I'm buying my minnows ahead of time, I want more water in there. You know, I just wanted more water so I could have more minnows in there. Or I also could use this for bait fish. So if I could fill that water up here, I could easily put in anywhere between, I'd have to say 7 to 10 bluegill in there if I needed to. Any kind of sunfish, whatever I'm using for bait, this should hold it just fine, and it's not too big. The other reason I really like this, for catfishing, you could cut your bait up here if you wanted to, if you didn't have a cutting board, and it's got a really nice handle on it. And depending on if I'm bringing this on the shore, or if I'm just gonna throw it in my boat, I mean, this thing fits right there, it's perfect. Easy for me and for my setup of how I do my things. So, if you're just gonna do minnows, you always can get a smaller one. I think they had an 18 quart there. For just minnows, you'd be just fine. But I wanted to do a mix up. I wanted to have both. So I already have a bubble box. I bought this a while back. I think it was about $14. It has this little air stone with it. It honestly doesn't do a bad job, but I wanted something a little more heavy duty. So I went to this bad boy. This air stone right here at Walmart was $1.40. This thing is 10 inches long. And I mean, it fits in there perfectly. So I bought that. So I also bought an 8-foot tube here, just in case if I wanted to do my setup differently. This is probably 3 feet, I'd say, 32 inches, 36 inches, close to 3 feet. So I wanted something a little bit longer. I've already checked, this already fits. All these right here were all $1.25 each. So we'll just go ahead and say that was $4 and this was 20 bucks. So I literally spent $25 on this altogether. Now I already had my bubble box here, which was 15, and we'll say that's $40 altogether. Right now I only had to spend 25 bucks to really get myself a nice little setup. So now I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how I'm gonna get this all rigged up here. So once I start doing everything, I'm gonna turn the camera back on. All right guys. All right, so let me show you so far what I'm doing and what I'm planning on doing. If anything changes, I'll be sure to let you know. So right now I have made this mark right here on the side. There's this outside case, and then there's the actual insulated cooler, I guess you could say. What my hope is to cut the insulated case part just that wide, stick this on here, and then it'll slide down. That's where it'll sit. And then my hope is the tube's gonna be here. I'm gonna run the tube up, drill a hole through here, and run it right, let's see here, run it right down, and then here's where my air stone's gonna be. And I got some silicone over here. I'm still trying to figure out what would be the best thing to cut this and not hurt myself. I don't want to use a power tool because I feel like that might be too much and I might go all the way through it. All right, so right now the box cutter is the #1 thing I'm thinking of. And I'm just going to keep on going over it in the same spot. And I'm hoping that I will get through. Okay, I've definitely gotten through some of it. Now let me see if I can get something to kind of pry it open. I would say a flathead screwdriver would probably work the best. It honestly looks like I got it there. And if you want to see here, I did not go through the side. And let me just go ahead and say I am not the handiest of handymen. There's probably some guys at home like, no, you're doing it wrong, Paul. Yeah, seriously. Okay, so we're gonna need that a little bit wider. What I just did here is I held this up to here, about double the length. So I'm gonna try to open it up a little bit more to the right, but I think we seriously might have just done it. All right, so here, let's work smarter, not harder, right? It's not something I've always went by, but hopefully you guys could see right here is what I'm trying to get at. So I already got an opening here, but I need to make it just a little bit wider, and I'm trying to point it away from me. So if it slides away. It's like so close. So close. Okay, I might have it now. Oh yeah. Bam. Now look at that. So as you can see in here, there's nothing here. So everything's fine. I didn't mess up anything internal. There's gonna be no leaking. And now you can pick it up, walk around, do whatever you want, put it down. This thing's not going anywhere. Okay. So if you guys could see, let me see if we can see it here. There's a little black dot right there. Here, let me lift this up. So here it is. It's gonna be easier for me just to lift this on, or keep this on here. It's actually on there pretty tight. I really don't want to bend anything. It's a cheap piece of metal that's on here. But I'm just gonna go ahead and drill a hole through there right now. All right. Don't mess this up, Paul. Wow. Well, that was simple enough. So I started smaller because you always can start smaller. That actually might fit. That's what she said? Okay. Had to say it. All right. So, not to be gross, but I spit on it a little bit just to kind of lubricate it a bit. And man, I mean, this thing fits perfect. Again, that's what she said. Yeah, whatever. Let's see if I can bring you guys here with me. So, that fit in just perfect, right? I mean, it's so tight. I probably wouldn't even be worried about anything, but I'm still gonna try to go ahead and caulk around the sides there. And now, what I want to do is, if you guys can see, there's this little crease right there. I want to get this line snugged up along that crease there, and then just have this lay right in here. And I'll probably cut it off somewhere right in here. And I'm gonna leave myself a whole bunch of access room here right now, just until we actually figure out how much we need. Okay, so I mean, that is on there just really nice and tight. I probably would leave it just like that. So I mean, look, this is perfect, just in case it moves a little bit. You got wiggle room. Nothing's, I mean, this is on there actually really tight. And this all looks just beautiful. Now I just gotta figure out how I wanna hold this line down in here nicely. So, all right, we'll go to the next spot. Here, you know what, let me see. Maybe I can come over here somewhere where there's actually some light. Oh yeah, daddy. And I'm hoping you guys could see all this. And this is literally hoping to just hold at least the bottom part of it. Man, it seems to be working pretty darn well already. And I'm probably gonna let this sit 20 or 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna go over it again on the outside. So hopefully you guys could see this now. I put the adhesive down in the corner, and then I held this tube down, and you can see I'm not pinched off here at the top. I could put a little more pressure on it, but I just don't want to chance it, you know? All right, you guys, I hope you were able to see that. I have never one time used this head mount, so I'm just winging it. This is a little fan I bought like 10 years ago. And I'm basically just gonna stick this in here, plug this in, and I guess try to speed up the process a bit. All right guys, so we're back. It's been about 25 minutes in there with the fan on it. So basically I put my sockets in here and my plumb bob just to kind of hold this line right here where I want it. And I'm gonna put some more on the outside here just to make sure it's really just secure and just looks nice. I like my stuff to look pretty. Now I want this. I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to get down here, but I'm gonna try my darndest to get it good. Let's get over here on this side too. It's just so awkward because I'm like sticking my hand in here. I'm like, what else are you gonna do, Paul? Yeah, I know. Decently happy with that. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's good with there. I wanna get my head out of there. I don't wanna be breathing all them fumes right now. All right, let's turn this fan and stick that back in there. Let me show it again just to make sure you guys can see it. So I went ahead and just caulked it really nice, and I kind of used those sockets there to just hold it up against it. All right guys, so I just wanted to add, I read over this. This says that it takes 30 minutes to set up. I mean, I got the fan in there on it and it's been darn near 30 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and put some more on here. What we're gonna do right now is I'm basically silicone around the outside, or I guess this is the outside and the inside, and once that's done, we're basically done. Now I'm gonna try to make this look as nice as I can, but I'm gonna have to just kind of give it a big old squeeze right there in the corner. And I would say that's got to be good for the inside. Now let's go ahead here and move to the outside, and I hope I don't regret doing this, because to be honest, it probably would be more than fine if I didn't do this, but try to get a little bit more over here. I know it's making a little bit of a mess, but I think I'm gonna say go ahead and say that's good. We got both the inside and the outside. All right, so what I'm doing right now, I'm just grabbing this flashlight just so you guys could see a little bit better there. Looks like I did an okay job there getting most of it. This side might be lacking a little bit, but I do believe I got it good. I just really got it good on the other side, but the inside here, this has light. You should be able to see it fine, hopefully. If the water comes up too high, if there's any splashes, there shouldn't be any water leaking coming out. All right, you guys, I just ran out to Walmart really quick and I picked up some eye bolts here. These were 98 cents right here. And what the plan is for me to drill a hole, probably somewhere up high, stick this through, thread on the nut, and that will hold my little nut handle here. I bought like 9 of those off Amazon for about, I think it's like $5. If you want the real bait nets, they're pretty darn expensive and they're usually pretty big. Now, those probably work really well like with big fish, but I've had no issues with these, and it's half the price and I get like 7 of them. Now this part here, this is something that you guys don't have to do. The main inquiry of this video is basically me just showing you the basic setup for the bait tank. This is just completely extra. This is just something else that I want. So this is something that I want to do. All right guys, so here's my plan thus far in the theory. So this came in a pack of 2 and you got 2 nuts with it, and I already had some washers here at home. So the plan is, I don't want it completely snugged up tight against here because I feel like, you know, you're gonna bump that as you're trying to pull it out. So I want it to be out a little ways. So what I'm gonna do is, once I get to where it's gonna be, I'm gonna tighten up this nut, tighten up the other, and these washers here will hold it real nice and tight. Probably about the best way I can describe it. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead here and figure out what size drill bit I need to use to drill this. Get this guy put in there, tighten these up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and throw some more silicone around that. So once I get started with the project, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the GoPro back on. There's a 1/4-inch drill bit here. Watch this. Make sure it works. All right, it works. All right, let's see if this bad boy fits. Oh yeah. This thing actually fits quite nice, to be honest. Oh man, look at that. Oh my gosh. Everything here seems to be just fine. The only thing different I'm gonna do There's a little bit sticking out right here. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that. Tighten it down on my vise and cut it with my Sawzall just to clean up that little bit of access room. But I like the length here. I like how far it is out. All right, so I know it's a little bit of a different angle. Okay. Hopefully I don't look stupid doing this. Alright. Now that I just woke up my wife and my baby, I'm sure I'm about to get cussed out. Here we go though. I was able to grind that down. Let me get a little file now and file it down just a bit so it's not too sharp. I don't accidentally cut myself when I go in there. So now since I have it cut down to the precise size I want, I'm gonna bring it back over here and I'm gonna bring the silicone over and we're gonna silicone it up. I'm gonna silicone it on the threads as I'm putting it in. It actually, I could screw it in here. It's a really tight fit. That's what she said. And everything seems to work really right. I picked the perfect drill bit. So putting that silicone on will just make sure that there's no leaks. Even though with how high it is, I won't have that water this high, but still, I like myself to be perfect. So, okay, once I start doing that, we'll get back with you. So I have this little file right here, and it's just kind of knocking off any burrs to make sure it's not too sharpened. Okay, so the plan is to try to get it put around here on this washer. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and just hit these threads, which really that should be more than enough. And this actually is screwing in there just right. I know there's a nice tight seal there. All right, so all right, now I'm just gonna throw this net on the back. I'm gonna go grab a crescent wrench really quick. So I'm gonna hold this tight here and crescent wrench this down. Okay. So now that that's nice and tight, I'm gonna go ahead again and just hit it with a little bit more to make sure we're all good. All right guys, let me show you what it looks like now. So now it's completely screwed in there. I got it completely caulked all the way around. This nut, I got it completely caulked around. You can see where I drilled the hole at. I couldn't put the washer in there because I wouldn't have room, but I think it's gonna be more than fine. So now I'm gonna bring it in the garage and put the fan back on and we're gonna let it dry. Alright guys, just had to turn one of my fans off. I noticed I had it on when I was filming a bit earlier. Hopefully it doesn't mess with the audio, but I have to have some circulation in here while the stuff's drying. Hopefully this here has enough time to set. So that should be good. I know this is good over here, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna cut this right to where I need it. I can see that I'm gonna wanna cut it like right about there. Now I'm really hoping you guys could see this. I'm gonna try to make this like directly center. I think I did a great job with that. I literally snipped it right where it needs to be. All right, and she's complete. Holds up my net perfectly, everything I wanted. Bubbler stays up just right. I got the line going in completely caulked. And once you open up the top, there's our air stone. It's 10-inch air stone. Everything over here is caulked perfectly fine. This 10-inch air stone is gonna be great for giving off great oxygen to the fish, bait fish, whatever I got in here. I'm gonna give it a couple more hours so and just let it set. It's only got a 30-minute set time, but I still want to be safe and I'll give it to this evening. I'm gonna fill it up with water and I'll show you guys how it looks. All right guys, she's all completed and she is running like a Swiss watch. This thing is awesome. All right, let me go ahead and show you. You can see the finished product right here. Pop open the top. Look at that. This air stone is awesome. I mean, it is like evenly spreading out those bubbles, just absolutely perfect. It's a 10-inch air stone. I love this thing to pieces. So this thing's great. This is probably about the water line of where I'm gonna keep it. I probably won't have it too much higher than that, but this thing is just working great. I have no complaints right now. So I got this cooler because this is what's gonna fit my style. It's small enough, so just putting some minnows in here is no problem, no big deal. It's big enough so I could throw some bluegill in here and have them for a day or two, keep them alive. I got it because I wanted the handle. If I'm going shore fishing or just anywhere I'm going, I want it to be easy accessible, easy to grab. And I love this thing. This thing is great. It was $20 at Academy. Not a bad deal at all. This bubble box, I've had this for probably a little bit over a month or two. I think I spent like 12 or 14 bucks on it. So if we just said right there, there's $34. It was $1 for the tube. The airstone was like $1.50. I mean, we'll just say it's like 36 bucks. So now if I want to go out catfishing by the dam or whatever, I could get my bait in here. Super easy for me to bring it out to the river. And now I got a seat. Got a nice handle. Now I don't have to bring my chair, and I got a bait bucket. So this thing's perfect. This video is just to show you that, hey, you can get a cooler and do it yourself, and it's really not that hard. I'm not the best DIY guy. Again, I got the idea of this from my good buddy Fishing with Fredo. I'm gonna put his channel link and the video to this down in the description below. Go and check out Fredo's video if you want different ideas or to see how he does stuff. So he's a lot more of a DIY guy than I am. That guy could do anything. He could build a boat out of toothpicks. So, and plus he's got great content. He uploads videos all the time. He's just a fun guy to watch, great fisherman. Go check him out. The main reason why I made this video was if you were thinking about making your own bait bucket and you wanted a couple ideas, check this out. Hopefully this gave you a couple ideas. You don't have to do this, you know, word for word on how I did it, but if you want to, hey, it works fine. If you want to put your own spin on it, get a bigger bait bucket, smaller, cooler, whatever, you could do it. So hopefully this was able to help you guys a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you guys later.
Bye, have a great time.